Tonight on Grady Newsource at 5, former Secretary of State Colin Powell died today, and we take a look at his legacy and ties to Northeast Georgia. Then, how the global supply shortage could inspire shoppers to get their groceries locally. And later, how the UGA Spike Squad is raising breast cancer awareness. All this and more coming up on Grady Newsource.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening, I'm Michelle Ortiz and welcome to Grady Newsource. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell has died from COVID-19 complications. His family posted the news this morning on Facebook. Grady Newsource reporter Megan Middlehammer details Powell's legacy and connections to Northeast Georgia.
In 1958, Colin Powell trained in nearby Dahlonega to become a soldier in the Army. Later on, he continued his training at Fort Benning in Columbus, Georgia, and briefly served at Fort McPherson. Little did he know that he would become the first Black U.S. Secretary of State and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
It's very inspiring that the Army allows such mobility from the bottom to the top. So if you just stick with it and become a good leader and care about people, then you'll get to where you want to be.
Powell served in both Republican and Democratic presidential administrations. He is known for his leadership in the Iraq War and a nonpartisan source of honesty and knowledge.
He always had the courage of his convictions, and he always was willing to speak truth to power.
Local and state politicians expressed their condolences online. Governor Brian Kemp tweeted, "America has lost a remarkable public servant who was highly respected here at home and around the world." Former candidate for Governor Stacey Abrams tweeted, "Godspeed to Secretary Colin Powell, who led with integrity, admitted fallibility, and defended democracy." Powell suffered from myeloma, a form of cancer that attacked his immune system and made the COVID-19 vaccine less effective. Megan Middlehammer, Grady Newsource.
Jury selection for Ahmaud Arbery case begins today. Grady Newsource reporter Alyssa Matheniel shares more on what a qualified juror will look like and the impact this case has already had on Georgia law.
Today, the jury selection process begins in the trial of the 3 men charged with killing Ahmaud Arbery. Outside the Glenn County Courthouse, citizens in support of the Transformative Justice Coalition gather and await jury selection. The fatal shooting of 25-year-old Arbery took place February 23, 2020 in Brunswick, Georgia. Travis McMichael, Gregory McMichael, and Brian William faced several charges, including felony murder, but have pleaded not guilty. Arbery's killing added to the wave of protests against police violence after the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Fuller E. Calloway Chair of Law Ronald L. Carson says due to the immense amount of publicity surrounding this case, the test for a qualified juror will include a juror's capability of having been exposed to some of the pretrial publicity and still able to judge the case exclusively on the evidence and facts presented. He says more on changes this law has caused.
The citizens arrest law was repealed as a result of this case. A hate crimes law was passed in Georgia as a result of this case. So it's had tremendous impact already. And one of the remarkable things is it's going to be a case that will be tried under the old citizens arrest law because that's what was in effect when this case occurred.
Judges around the country with high-profile cases will continue to watch and see how this Georgia judge handles this particular case.
Police are still investigating the shooting that took place earlier this year in Commerce. Grady Newsource reporter Tyler Johnson looks into the latest developments in the case.
They were traumatized mostly because really, at a time like that, who would be?
Marion Saunders knew the victim, Billy Smith, that was shot and killed right outside of the Dollar General on B. Wilson Road, located in Commerce, Georgia. Billy Smith's brother, Philip Smith, was also shot, but managed to survive the injury. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation and Commerce Police are actively working on finding the person responsible for the killing of Smith and the wounding of his brother.
Don't know what the motive for it is, and that's part of what we need help from the community with is to really fully understand the motive. There's been some scenarios thrown around, but none of them have really been able to be confirmed as a solid motive for this murder.
The chief of police also stated that experts working on the case have concluded that the vehicle the potential suspect was driving the night of the crime appeared to be a black Scion XB with all black wheels. The suspect is a light-skinned individual, and if people have any information about the case, please call Commerce Police Department at 706-335-3200. This is Tyler Johnson, Grady Newsource News.
Today marks the start of the second week of early voting in Athens, Clarke County. Grady Newsource reporter Samantha Spinacci has more on what to expect if you're planning to vote early.
I'm here at the Athens Board of Elections office where you can continue to vote early until October 29th. Earlier I spoke with voters about their voting experience.
Very easy and quick, probably took about 4 minutes.
Voters like Bradshaw say the reason why they're voting is because of the renewal of the 1% educational sales tax.
We're voting for the educational special tax. My children all attend Clarke County schools, so I feel that it's very important, so I voted yes to renew it.
This sales tax can be used for educational purposes such as renovations, building repairs, and technology improvements. For those that will be voting by absentee ballot, there's one change that Board of Elections co-manager Monica Capizuz says that voters should be aware of.
People aren't able to just drop off an absentee ballot. We used to have a box that could be right out there. They could pull up and drop it off anytime. And now the mandate is that it must be inside the building, and it gets locked every night, even though it's inside a locked building.
Capizuz also mentions that there is now only one absentee ballot drop box in the whole county. That drop box can be found behind me at the Board of Elections office. If you're planning to vote by absentee ballot, the last day to request one is October 22nd. If you're planning to vote early in person, starting Saturday there'll be 4 more locations across Athens where you can choose to vote. Be sure to bring a valid photo ID such as a driver's license, passport, or voter ID card. For Grady Newsource, I'm Samantha Spinacci.
With Election Day coming up on November 2nd, Grady Newsource reporter Kayla Robertson has information for voters in Northeast Georgia.
Yeah, Michelle, so I have a look at some of the items that are going to be on tickets across counties in Northeast Georgia this election season. So starting in Athens, Clarke County, voters will be looking at East Bloss and the City of Winterville City Council. Then in Barrow County, we're going to be voting on Splost. In Jackson County, there will be citywide elections for Arcade, Braselton, Commerce, Hoshton, Jefferson, and Nicholson. And Madison County will hold a vote for District 3 Commissioner and City Council. And then in Oconee County, voters will vote on a proposed splost, and there are also citywide elections in Watkinsville and North High Shoals. There are no elections in Oglethorpe County this cycle, but according to Election Supervisor Steve McCannon, there will be a splost vote in May of 2022.
Now, Kayla, you mentioned splots before. What exactly does splots mean?
Yeah, so SPLOST stands for Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, and normally they are a 1% or a 1 cent sales tax that are used to fund local infrastructure projects. Back to you, Michelle.
Thank you, Kayla. It's Lion Club Week in Oconee County as the organization is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Grady Newsource reporter Sam Perez is here with a look of the group's involvement in the community.
I said, well, you know, I need to get involved in the county.
For 3 generations, the Fox family has been involved in the Lions Club. Now, Bill Fox is president of the organization during its 50th anniversary in Oconee County.
Communities should take care of their own. And so that's what the Lions Club does.
The Oconee chapter of the Lions Club is part of Lions Club International, a global civic service organization. Wayne Turnbull has been in the club for 40 years.
I think the main thing is we just do a lot of things that a lot of people, don't see. And so we want for people to know that we've been here, what we've done, and in the county.
One of the organizations the Lions supports is Extra Special People, or ESP, which serves people with disabilities and their families. ESP Communications Coordinator Marcella Ganuth says the Lions Club is helpful when it comes to donations.
It's really heartfelt to know that other people in the community support us and want an inclusive world as much as we do.
Inclusivity is something the Lions Club in Watkinsville has focused on recently. In the 50 years since it started, Fox says it has integrated with the Lioness Club and now accepts both men and women members.
Anything that lasts 50 years is pretty substantial. If you can make 50 years at something, you're not going anywhere. As long as I'm alive, I won't let the club go anywhere but up.
Fox says the next step for the club is to welcome in younger members, especially as the county grows. This week, you can visit a display at the Oconee County Public Library, where you can flip through pictures, look at medals, and learn more about the work the Lions Club has done over the past 5 decades. For Grady Newsource, I'm Sam Perez.
Up next, how the global supply shortage could inspire people to shop locally.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
You're home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father.
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
And discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
A nationwide supply chain shortage is causing some essential products to be continually out of stock. Grady Newsource Riley Armand is here to tell us more.
Hi, Michelle. I went to a local grocery store here in downtown Athens that is stocked with all of the goods that you might not be able to see or find in big name stores. Locally at stores like Daily Groceries Co-op could help you check everything off your list the next time you're out shopping. Louis Arnold, the general manager, says that the vendors they use are also from the neighborhood.
We have more options in that regard of small vendors that we work with that ship directly to the store. There's,
During the pandemic, there was an increase in online shopping. Economist Jeff Humphreys says people were also not spending as much as they normally would, which resulted in postponed demand and an increase in savings.
It's not so much services. And so the result is a shortage. It's a shortage partly because there's just less stuff available and you can't.
Home goods like tissue, diapers, coffee, and meats are some of the specific goods that have recently been in high demand. Economist Jeff Humphreys says that regardless of the shortages on goods, spending is closer to going back to normal since stores have reopened. Back to you, Michelle.
Thank you, Riley. Now, as you're scrolling through Facebook, you may have noticed many posts about lost or found dogs. Grady Newsource reporter Megan Middlehammer spoke to local groups trying to solve this problem.
Dogs are man's best friend, but when they go missing or no one wants them, what happens? Local Madison County resident Tracy Seagraves Gaines set up a Facebook group in 2014. She started with a page dedicated to finding the homes of lost and found pets in Madison County, and then expanded to a pet rescue network in Northeast Georgia.
My whole life, animals have migrated toward me when they were, needing help.
Tracy works with animal control and local residents to monitor the Facebook pages for bad actors, known as flippers. Pet flipping refers to pets that are stolen from their owners and sold on buying and selling sites like Craigslist. The Madison Oglethorpe Animal Shelter works with Tracy's group to take in stray dogs and cats and either find their owners or give them a new home.
When they started referring my group to people, and I want to cry right now because it just meant a lot to me. It just really did.
Andrew Kitchens is the Moaz shelter director.
People were going back to work until they found that they didn't have time for their animal anymore.
And so that has really increased the amount of animals that have been brought to us. Like, just come and spend time with us, because we've got excellent resources. We've got a foster program that when we are cramped for space, we're able to put the dogs in homes.
Over the past year, MOAS has accepted 1,333 pets from Madison County, all cats and dogs. In 2021, the live release rate is 94%.
We have a Spay It Forward program where we cover the cost of the surgery and the rabies vaccine for residents of Madison and Oglethorpe counties, and it's at no cost to them.
If you do find a stray animal, Kitchen says you should contact your local animal shelter, check the pet for a microchip or a rabies tag, and post on social media. Megan Middlehammer, Grady Newsource.
Up next, hear about your weather forecast for the week and also the start of La Niña and its impact.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
And now, the weather.
Hello, I'm Lyman Bailey, and here's your weather for Monday. The temperature will stay at 73 degrees and sunny with a low of 45 degrees. And for the rest of the week, expect all sunshine with no rain. The temperature will be in the high 70s and low 80s during the day, while at night it will be a bit chilly with temperatures dipping into the low 50s and 40s. The weather for the weekend will be perfect outdoor weather, as you can expect there to be all sun with no rain. As well as the temperature will be in the high 70s. It definitely looks like fall is in full swing for this week. Also, La Niña is beginning to start. Countries such as Indonesia and Australia will begin to see more rain than usual, as well as northern states could see more snow this winter, while southwestern states could expect more droughts soon.
After the break, Georgia football remains #1 after a win this weekend, and an update on the women's golf team.
I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school.
Jessica has been through a lot in her life from early childhood.
My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She came in looking to complete her diploma. She had a family she had to take care of. Anytime she needed help, we provided her help. She realized that we were here for her.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
My graduation, it was something I will never forget. I couldn't explain the emotion I was feeling because people like you and me sometimes may have doubts in yourself, but I feel that everything's possible.
Jessica's future is brighter than ever.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
And now, sports.
Hi, I'm Allison Costo, and this is your Grady Newsource Sports. The Georgia Bulldogs remain #1 in the AP college football polls after defeating now number 15 Kentucky on Saturday with a final score of 30-13 at their annual homecoming game. Head coach Kirby Smart is looking forward to improving and getting players healthy before the Bulldogs take on the Florida Gators in Jacksonville on October 30th. While Coach Smart is never satisfied, he is happy with Georgia's effort in the game and excited to get back to work on the ultimate goal.
We feel like if we keep chopping wood, eventually we'll make more plays than the other team. I just don't know how long that's going to take. And we believe that no matter how long it takes, we'll make more plays.
In other college sports news, the UGA women's golf team just ended their fall season, finishing 13th at the Stanford Intercollegiate this past Sunday. They will be back on February 13th at the Columbia Classic in Melbourne, Florida. Coming up this week, here's a list of UGA sporting events that fans can look forward to. I'm Allison Costo, and this has been your Grady Newsource Sports.
Coming up after the break, the UGA Spike Squad gears up in pink for the Bulldogs battling breast cancer.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters. Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. But I need that back. No. Kevin!
You know, a lot of people say, when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. And I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
You've probably seen the UGA Spike Squad before, but Grady Newsource Davis Baker tells us why they were rocking a new color on Saturday.
Since 2010, the UGA Spike Squad has been at the forefront of Section 109 at Georgia football games with their famous spike shoulder pads on. On Saturday, they swapped out their normal red pads for pink ones in support of Bulldogs battling breast cancer during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This was the 3rd annual collaboration between the two groups.
We partner with St. Mary's Hospital here in Athens to raise money to provide free mammograms for women in need. They also buy new equipment and also educate women on the importance of early detections and getting those screenings done.
In order to raise that money, the famous shoulder pads are donated to the Spike Squad members from around the community.
We put the Spike Squad mojo on them, make them pink, and kind of raise some awareness at the game with these pink pads. And after the game, we give them back to Dwight, and he auctions them off at the Bulldog Battling Breast Cancer event.
The collaboration could not have happened at a better time. With ESPN's College Game Day and SEC Nation in town, even celebrities like Waka Flocka Flame don the pink pads. Not to mention all the people that saw the Spike Squad on TV when the #1 Bulldogs faced Kentucky on Saturday. For Davis, this was a personal moment as well after losing his grandmother to breast cancer in March.
This game's a little special for me. I'm going to write her initials on my pads here soon, and I think she'll be with us tonight, and I think it'll be great. I'll be thinking of her.
Reporting for Grady Newsource, I'm Davis Baker.
This weekend, runners from Athens community will be participating in the 12th annual half race. The half marathon and 5K will take place in Athens, Georgia this Sunday. The course of the race runs throughout different parts of Athens, and live music will be featured throughout the course. The race is a fundraiser for AthFest Educates, a nonprofit organization that funds music and arts education from K through 12 youth. Rachel Allen is the media representative for AthFest Educates. She discussed how AthFest is special compared to other races.
You're running through downtown and historic neighborhoods with Athens music all along the way. So it's a very distinct Athens-y race.
The half marathon will start at 7:30 a.m. and the 5K begins at 2:30 p.m. at the corner of Washington Street and Hancock Avenue in downtown Athens. A 3-day bike ride from Athens to Savannah begins this Friday. The ride is sponsored by Georgia High-Low Trail and will raise funds to connect the Firefly Trail in Athens to Union Point in Savannah, creating the longest paved trail in the United States. Thank you for watching Grady Newsource. I'm Michelle Ortiz. Good night.
Grady Newsource is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
All right. All I could say about this show is wow. Because we were about like 15 minutes out. We had like 4 packages missing. We were kind of scrambling around testing stuff, and I didn't see any problems with the show. Technically, it was fantastic. Thank God this mic worked, because we did not have another mic to use for 2 segments at the smartboard. I'll try to bring in some AA batteries or something like that to put some more, get some more firepower in there. But ultimately, you guys did fantastic. The growth between class and tech side has been exponential since September. And give yourselves just a giant pat on the back, because today was amazing. And without further ado, Professor V.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you to you guys as well for pivoting. We were trying to do a live shot. We attempted it, which was good, and we had to pivot. We have to work with realities, and I think you guys learned a lot by just having the bravery to try more. And as I have promised, this is now in your hands. First to Emma, you did a fantastic job. She timed the show both ways, and at one point just 30 seconds light. She added 30 seconds to the show. A quick learner, yes. A quick study in the morning. She just looked at me and I said, "Have you ever produced?" She said, "No." And she was really 8 hours later, quick study. Yes, so your 3 things we did well today that you want to share with us, and 3 things we can do differently to keep growing.
Yes, so great job, everybody. I told Professor V in there, I was like, this is great. Everything looks so good. One thing I think we did really well was just staying diligent throughout the day. Alyssa, like, I know you got a phone call back so last minute, and you were trying and you said you left like 6 voicemails on people's phones. Still trying for that interview, so we love to stay, consistent and motivated. Same with Megan. I know you were worried you weren't going to have another interview either, and then you had like 2 other ones. So just staying really diligent with that. Another thing, which I think we've done good every time, but I just really appreciate the quick communication on Slack and here in the newsroom, getting back to me really quickly. And getting to me with any questions or concerns. Doing a great job with that. Another thing I think we did good, like she said, we were going to do a fun live shot with Riley, but we adapted here in last minute as, you were having some technical issues and we were still getting stuff in, and we adapted really quick and we got you down there for the B block, and everything looked great, and Kayla's looked awesome as well. So I thought we were really adaptable. With that, things we could work on here. Well, I guess, like I said, we were diligent because some interviews were coming in last minute, but as he stated, we did have a lot of packages come in like right beforehand. So I guess just trying to get a head start and get those in earlier. I know sometimes we can't help it, depending on if a source gets back to you at like 4 o'clock and is like, let's get on a call. You can't really help that. So I guess it's just a matter of luck in that sense, but getting, I guess, everything as much as done as you can prior. Another thing that we could work on, making sure that we're looking at the right camera. I think that happened like once or twice in there. Yeah, but great otherwise, Riley. Great job. That's always
red light. That's the
camera. And gosh, it's so difficult. I thought it was so good. Another thing that I forgot to mention that we did good, was I thought we were really on top of the news today. I know there was so many breaking news this morning with Colin Powell, yeah, and Ahmaud Arbery's trials. Just a lot of important things in there that we got, and I love how we're staying consistent with the election coverage too. I told Sam, I said, you're our go-to gal here, clearly with that, but we did a great job, and Kayla did good reporting on it too. Yeah, just great job overall, y'all. So happy that it went well.
Yeah, and you made a great point on what we can do better. There were a few people who came in without viable stories or with a story that was not viably updatable. And so we need to be able to come prepared with viable stories. When you're a TV MMJ, you need to come prepared, because if we didn't have these two breaking stories today, we would have suffered. Our show would have suffered from basically having newsy stuff to play. And that's very important. The news always comes first. And there were a few things that were last week stuff that I challenged people to think about whether there could be a today angle. But all in all, we had these breaking news stories, Colin Powell's passing and the Ahmaud Arbery trial, which, I was surprised that nobody pitched those stories, and especially the Ahmaud Arbery jury selection beginning today, that nobody pitched those stories. So please try to pitch, watch the news, follow the news, make that a habit, because it'll make you very successful in the workplace. And it's past midterm right now, so I really expect you to have your finger on the pulse of the news. But I'm very proud at what so far you did today with everything, all the moving parts and pieces. But again, I will zip it, but I wanted to reiterate again how important it is to come with viable stories when you're a TV MMJ. And we ended up with people who were news gatherers doing the news and coming prepared and being able to pivot quickly. So that's, I think, something we can do better. And I thank all who came prepared and contributed some amazing content with amazing visuals and made our show what it is today. So Nikki, it's over to you. How did we do digitally? Did we help you enough? Did we?
Yeah, everyone was so quick with responding to me, getting their content to me, and then kind of helping really explain the story with captions. So I really appreciated that today. Moving forward, one thing I think we should work on when we're collecting content for digital platforms, since we're doing multimedia, that's videos, photos, a bunch of stuff. So if we could get, just think about, even though we're taking videos and it's for video broadcast, for digital purposes, potentially getting like 1 or 2 pictures for event coverage, just for like Instagram posts, just to spice things up a little bit. So, yeah. Yes. So, yeah. So did well communication. Visuals were great, and so same thing with captions. So those were the things we did well. And then moving forward, things we could work on, collecting like a wider variety of content for digital platforms. Gosh, I honestly can't think of much more that, yeah.
Thank you. MMJs, let's start with Riley Sheech, and then we go to Sam as they were with the card today.
Okay, well. Right, yeah. So I think today was pretty one. Okay, so I think I did pretty good on, working under a little bit of stress today. And yeah, I was nervous for the live shot at first, but then when I got in front of the camera, I was looking at the wrong one, and that's the one thing I did wrong. But I think I did pretty well, like speaking wise, like for my first like live shot technically. But yeah, the thing that I would improve on is to remember that the red light is where I should be looking. Yep. That's it.
I was not an MMJ today. I was a news gatherer. But one thing that I think I can work on is just practicing my script more, because I thought I knew my script, and then I got out to my look live shot, and as Kayla can attest, I could not remember how to say a bunch of things. So it took me a little while to record that. But one thing I think I did well was just like putting myself out there today. And I literally walked up to every single person who came out of the elections office today and asked them for an interview. And I got like 6 no's, but I ended up getting 2 interviews, and I even got an interview with someone that was a poll worker now. So I'm proud of myself for that, because sometimes it's a little intimidating when people are just like running to their cars and they're avoiding you.
That shouldn't bother you. It's not that people are avoiding you, they're just not comfortable in front of a camera. So don't take it personally. They're just not comfortable. It's not that they don't want to talk to you. So that's normal. It's happened to me. It happens to everyone. So don't take it personally. Just understand it. Take it for where it's coming from. It's they're just not comfortable. And yes. And you got some great interviews, 2 sources from 2 different standpoints. Very well done, both of you. And on-camera interviews. I thought that Sam Perez, her package was again very beautiful, very well done with sources on camera. You see the difference when you get a source on camera as opposed to the audio, and yours were on camera. So if you can share your experience, then we will go to oh my God, double duty. Speaking of double duty, triple, we use so much of Megan's stuff, from last week, from today, from the full screens that she did. And so, well, let's go first to her, then to you, and then Davis.
So one thing I think I can work on will be like looking up how to do different things in Premiere. Like I still have a good understanding of it, but I feel like little transitions or cuts just speed up the editing process, so I have time to like nitpick, because right now I feel like I'm always like rushing to finish. So when I have more time to nitpick, I feel like my package will be better overall. And then one thing I did well was like staying tenacious to get my sources. Like I couldn't decide who I wanted, which I think was also an issue. So I sent like an email blast, and then I just had to call people down the list until I finally got sources. So yeah, just like sticking with it and knowing that something will pan out no matter how late it gets. Like you'll always get at least one person on the phone. Yeah, and then like making things that can be repurposed. Those graphics, that was fun to see them again.
Thank you. So I think that one thing I did well was scheduling my interviews in advance, and I scheduled them for earlier in the morning. So that was really helpful, because I feel like the last few days I've been kind of like stressed out at the end of the day trying to get it in by deadline, but it was a lot more chill today because I'd scheduled those, which I think was really helpful. And I ended up getting a surprise 3rd interview. When I went to go film B-roll, someone just came up and I ended up talking to him, and he ended up being my main source, which was really cool to see that turn out. And then I think that's something that I could have done better is I was really lucky because the display at the library ended up being big. I thought it was just going to be a little table, but there was a lot to film, which was great. But I wish I had some visuals specifically of the people that I interviewed, the 2 members, because I showed different like images from the Lions Club in general, but I really wish I'd worked with the sources to try and find them specifically, since the story was kind of focused on them and their involvement.
All right, so for me, one thing I did well, I think, was like starting to cut down on the SOTs, like you said, because I thought I still was able to convey some impactful, sound bites without them having to be, 20 seconds or more like 8 to 10. Especially that last one about, his grandmother passing from breast cancer. That was a impactful one. And then one thing I can improve on, I would say, I thought my shot selection was pretty good, but some of the shots were a little shaky, and I used the warp stabilizer in Premiere, which helped, but it won't always save you. So I think I got to get more comfortable when I'm shooting B-roll off of a tripod.
Say, Davis, your package was also beautiful. The 2 of you, you're so good with video. The close-ups you take, it was really impactful. It was really, once I saw it put together, it was so moving, and how you chose that final soundbite, it really choked me up. So it came together very well, and thank you. I know your soundbites weren't that long, but I want to inspire you to keep them sharp and strong, because I know you can. I'm pushing her as well. I'm trying to kind of see your strengths and see where you can grow. And so I'm pushing her in a different direction with you. You just, both of you are just amazing visual storytellers. And so it came together very well. And I saw that one of the longer sound bites, what you did is you covered it with B-roll, and it worked because it wasn't just the person on camera. That was the first one. So I like that as a workaround. So very well done. I really liked the way it was moving. It was very well done. And our anchor.
I was not expecting to be handed the mic. I think, yeah. Yes. Well, I think everyone did amazing. I really appreciated. Oh, about myself. Yes, I think expression-wise, I need to mirror the content that I'm saying. That is something I want to work on. Especially, we had so many serious topics today that I didn't want to be smiling the whole time, especially talking about death and like jury convictions and stuff like that. I didn't want to be smiling, but it was just like trying to mirror that content through my face. And then one thing I did well, there was a time where our technical people couldn't hear when we were turning back to me. So I reacted pretty quickly, and even though the prompter wasn't working, I was able to look down at my script and finish what needed to be said.
I can see you working hard on changing your expression, your tone. I can see progress, but definitely that's something I would love to work with you on. And you look beautiful. You were confident because I could tell you knew your stories, and so I'm glad that this is something you want to work on. Each one of you has something, I have a plan for each one of you, and that definitely is my plan with you. And yeah, so I'm glad that's your ambition as well. Kayla.
One thing that I think I did well was I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. So my plan was to kind of just come in and see what you needed me to do and then go from there. But my backup was to use Megan's graphics that she made, which turned out really, really great. Those were so awesome to have. Thank you for making those. So yeah, I think that I could probably work on when I'm news gathering, just having a whole lot of ideas ready to go, should we need them. And also when I was talking, you told me not to say we, and I did say we. So I think sometimes like when I'm on camera, my brain gets a little bit ahead of my mouth. So I'm like stressed out a little bit, but yeah, so I think I could work on those.
I think you did a great job. And yes, and we basically, our show, a lot of our content was done by news gatherers today. Most of our content, thank you. And one question, guys, is it just me, or did I think that these Instagram vertical graphics didn't quite work with they didn't fill the whole screen? Did you think maybe we could have done them, we could have adapted them to the horizontal screen? Yeah. What do you guys think? Or do you think it worked the way it was? I don't know, it might have worked. What do you guys think?
You can stand on one side or the other without blocking, because when you were talking over the splost, you cut off half of the splost. So honestly, I don't mind having that space, but maybe keep it to one side or the other and then fill the rest, if that makes sense. Like, we would have to measure it out. Yeah. Yeah. Or you would have had to have crossed the screen to talk about the splost one and then go back over, kind of. Yeah.
I just wanted to briefly discuss it, but thank you. Very well done. I was just kind of trying to make you perfect. It's okay to say we. But you know, I'm ambitious for you guys. So, Alyssa, what did you do well, and what do you want to do better next time?
Next time, well, what I could have done better is I wish that I would have had more legwork done on a story, like coming into today's class. Like I wish I would have said, okay, well, I've already got this completed, you know, and it been more of like a continuation than having to start a whole new story. However, with that being said, what I think that I did well is, like, despite the challenges I was facing with getting a viable source, I wound up getting a really, really viable source in the nick of time. And even though I didn't have time to edit it quite as well as I would have liked, I think the fact that I finished and I got it done in the nick of time, for me, was an accomplishment, just because normally I get too stressed out. So the fact that I was able to, like, stay calm and, like, actually do it in such a time crunch was definitely a big accomplishment for me. Oh, I want to do better is I want to have more, like, legwork. What I mean by legwork is, like, work already done before class, so that it can be a continuation of a story rather than having to start a whole new story for the future.
You were a TV MMJ today. Yeah. Hi, Tyler.
One thing I did well was Emma actually gave me a story to do around like 2 o'clock, and I was able to turn it around and like make a package out of it. So I was proud of that. And then one thing I need to work on is just some editing stuff within Premiere Pro. I felt like a lot of my videos like were out of frame, as well as like the pictures and stuff like that. So I really need to fix that and the lower thirds too.
I'd also work on really updating the story when we need to have it updated, because both of you were TV MMJs, and we would have really been in trouble had we not had this breaking news, these important stories today. So I wanted to explain why I insist on you coming with really viable stories which are updated for this week. And that's just wanted to make that clear. Wyman?
Yeah, so I guess just one thing I could improve on, it's kind of hard to like gauge it in there, is like I kind of was standing in front of the graphic, and like I didn't realize how far I could go over. So because I knew when I was like being framed, they were framing me, I was like, at first I was like, they saw me like slowly walking over, and I think Michael was like, do you want us to go to your left more? I'm like, yes. So I think better just going, like, if I do something live in there, next time I'm in there, I just need to better frame myself in the camera so I'm not blocking everything on the graphic. But surprisingly, like looking at it, it wasn't that bad. I don't think I blocked everything. Like I blocked Monday's weather, but everything else showed well. And then one thing I just did good on was, I think my graphics for like doing the little Nina showing like how the weather was moving in on the map, it was well, and just like presentation. And I thought I made it well, because I'm kind of like, I could have done that, but I also like had my hands like down here, but I was still getting in the movement I think I needed. I was just trying to be as natural as possible, so I think that worked well for me.
That was the first time I saw you doing something. You look confident, you have a nice voice. You just could have, but these are just, my ambitions for the next time. Yes. And Allison, you did the sports, right? And that your presentation is, sorry, I didn't mean, yeah, the presentation was spirited. One thing you did well, one thing you want to do well.
Also working on framing myself. I like blocked a lot of the graphics. So just like figuring that out more. We were like moving the smart board and like figuring out, we moved cameras for it. So I think just like knowing better where to stand and working with that. And then I think I did like good research on like sports that were going on, and like, people could figure out where to go and hang out and watch sports this week. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was like checking facts. I mean, she really had a wide variety of different sports, and I kept asking for sources, and yeah. But we fact checked it. So that you gave me a run for my money today with all these things. Have I given everybody an opportunity to speak? Well done as a team. Stepping in to do things, challenging yourself to do quick turns day off. And I hope that this gives you more confidence as you move forward, because there's nothing like challenging yourself and being thrown in the ocean. That's how I learned and how I gained confidence, by learning how to swim, just kind of swimming. And a lot of you did that today, and I'm really happy with all of you who tried different things. And the live shot, I'm glad. You know, Emma was not very keen on it, and I don't blame her. It was her first time, but I told her, I said, I want you to try. Her automatic thing was to go to you, Sam, and I said, no, we want to, I mean, we will try someone else. And then she thought that, you know, Riley was, you pulled the lucky number. And Riley, of course, she's like no problem. And I just saw that she had technical difficulties. I challenged her on her script also, and she did wonderfully. And it just wasn't, I saw it was 10 after 4, and she should have left at 4, probably, to get to where she wanted to be, frame the shot. So I saw how stressed out she was, so I told her, let's just do it on the smart board. She figured out something to put into the smart board. Kayla helped her, added it to her. Oh, okay. Okay, you're just so wonderful. I don't even know who helps who, and I'm just so happy. I love that. So I love that.
I could have gone ahead and, like, as soon as I got the script approved, just go ahead and, like, edit everything quickly, get it together, and then I should have gone down for the live shot a lot earlier, but
no, you couldn't, because you had a very complex story, and I commend you, because I suggested it last week and nobody wanted to touch it because it is a difficult story. And I challenged you and I said, so how are you going to write the story so that you don't cause panic buying? Yeah. So I totally challenged you, and you rose to the challenge, and you tackled a story that nobody wanted to touch, like a hot potato. You know, I was like, okay, I tossed the hot potato last week and said, who is going to be brave enough? And sure enough, you know, Riley. But I think you did great, and with what you had and the time you had. And I commend you for your attitude. The can-do, that will take you far. The same with you, Sam, and with a lot of other, I don't want to leave out people who are always volunteering, helping, Megan, being excited, happy about. Emma does a lot of, I mean, all of you, because that makes life better and your job better when you have that attitude, and it gets noticed and it makes you more successful. And